Hello, Instagram, IGTV, and hello, YouTube recording. I am here. Today is March 26th, I believe. I've taken a little while to set up a good recording space, so I hope the sound is good. I hope the lighting is good. I hope the background isn't too weird. It can be tricky to keep these floors clean with the ocean air. I'm here at our house in El Salvador, and the ocean's right in front, which is completely amazing and magical, and I'm grateful for it every day. And it literally sort of like picks up all the sand and dumps it right onto the floor here. So let me know if the background is good. I've set up a little station for you guys to be able to consume this in a way that is enjoyable for you. And I'm starting this series called Monday Mindset Coaching, and it's going to be using the tools that I use and that I've used to create and continue to create a life that expands in health and wealth and joy every day. It's going to be the oils that I use and all the practices and the essential practices that I use. And the reason why I'm doing this is that mindset is such a huge part of everything we do. We hear this all the time, and I really wanted to uncover why that is, because we can maybe hear about it and think that it's woo-woo or it's not, important. But listen, this is why it's really important. If, in your business, in your goal to have your body feel and look a certain way, so I'm like, hope everything's covered here. If, let's say, in your relationship, all of these things, if you know what to do and you know how to do it, but you're not doing it, you're not doing those things, then that is where you know that there is some mindset and some brain training practices that need to happen. So, for example, let's say, in your business, and this could be in a doTERRA business, which is the space that I'm in, but it could really be in any business. So if, let's say, you want to double your business and you want to serve more people, if you know what to do. So in doTERRA, well, I need to contact new people every single day, and I need to follow up with my customers every single day. If you know how to do that, well, I know how to do that. I can give lives, I can teach classes, I can send emails, I can get on the phone. If you know how to do it, then that's good. If you don't know what to do and you don't know how to do it, then yes, there's trainings that need to happen in any business, in any endeavor. Okay, there's a certain amount of skill set that needs to be learned. There's experience that needs to happen. But if you do know what to do and you do know how to do it, and you're not doing it, that's when you know that there's some mindset practices that need to happen. And generally, it is, I know for myself, there is, or for everyone actually, there is a part of our brain at the back called the reticular activating system. And its job is to keep us safe and secure. Safe and secure. And the way that it does that is by making sure we don't step out of our comfort zone. So it is committed to giving us the status quo because it knows the status quo. So every single day for myself, I need to train myself. So I'll tell you why, but I'm just going to start with an announcement that I'll make now, and I'll also make it at the end of this recording on IGTV and then here on YouTube, is that on April 9th, which is Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a lunch and learn on using essential oils for brain training and for creating your dream life, realizing your goals, whether that's in health, wealth, joy, relationships, any other area. So that will be April 9th at noon Eastern Standard Time. This is for anybody. This can be for people on my doTERRA team. This is for people on other doTERRA teams. This can be on people on no doTERRA teams. This will be a Zoom. It will not be recorded, so it's something where you'll have to show up live. and it will be a full hour of lunch and learn. So that's the information about that. So why I'm doing this, why I'm really committed to this, because, you know, if some of you have been following along with my journey, I'm here in El Salvador, and I'm here with, you know, in this huge house, bigger than any house I've ever lived in my life, bigger than any, you know, family member on both Chris and I's side that we know of has ever lived in. And I noticed that I feel sort of at the edge of what I thought was possible for myself. So, you know, I visioned this for a long time. I had a vision board of this. I created this. I wanted a life where I could live somewhere by the beach, where I could continue to teach yoga. There was a yoga community where I could offer workshops in a very profound way, deep way. I could have the majority of my work be online, so I had freedom, and I would have systems, and I would have financial freedom. So now I'm living that, okay? We took the leap and we moved here early January. And I noticed tons of thoughts in the last two weeks that I've been here, because I was traveling in India for most of February, but tons of thoughts about how I am unworthy, how nothing's going to work, how I'm disliked, so much negativity. And I thought, what's going on? I have not felt like this in a while. And I realized so my coach, Deb Erickson, calls it a set point. I've gotten to the edge of my set point. I can't really vision anything beyond this. But of course, you know, we are beings of nature and we need to keep expanding. And I want to keep growing my business. And almost more so than for myself, I want to see the women on my team experience the freedom and the travel and just how joyful I feel now. And for myself, there's other things I wanted to create. So I saw that I wasn't taking action. I wasn't doing no things. I'm also in a new environment. I feel a bit insecure about my community here. So I need to start really training my brain and my mind. So I started to do this last week, and I thought, wow, this is so profound, this work, and I really want to share it. So I'm sharing a little piece of it that I hope you get good value on Mondays. I will have 10 minutes on my IGTV, which is when I look up here, and a good half hour on my YouTube channel, which is what I'm looking right here, which will be shared on Facebook. So that's why I'm here, okay? So the first thing that I do, the first thing of any practice, is I start with my oils. I wake up and I go straight to my oils. First is I take oils internally in this beautiful doTERRA bottle that I got at Leadership, which is metal. So when you are consuming essential oils, please only drink, 1 to 3 or 4 drops in metal or glass, not in plastic, because it will make a chemical reaction. You'll be drinking that plastic. So what I'm drinking today, I am drinking a drop of turmeric, because there are benefits that help lower anxiety. They're very profound. So I put 1 drop in, I fill it all the way to the top. I drink about half of it, I fill it up again, drink about half, fill it up again, so there's still some oil in it, and I sip it throughout the day. So my approach to health now is that I work on the immediate, the present moment, so like my anxiety, my mindset, my well-being, and I think long-term. So another reason why I love turmeric, I just wrote down the study right here, because I know if you are watching this, you're like me and you have like a researcher scientific mind. There are also, there was a study in 2013 in the food science and biotechnology grads, was the journal, and it was part of the agricultural grad school in Japan, 2013. And the studies of turmeric essential oil on animals showed that it helped with inhibiting or even fighting types of colon cancer. So just overall antioxidant health. So the first thing I do is I start the day drinking water with an essential oil of choice. I'm very attracted to turmeric. Last week it was a lot of peppermint. So I'm going to hop off here on IGTV. You can watch the rest on YouTube. I will put the link for you guys. So see you. I'll continue here on YouTube. So the first thing I do is I drink my essential oil. Then I turn on my diffuser. So I'm still creating a very good system. We need to buy an extension cord so that my diffuser can be working while I'm on video with y'all. But this morning, what I chose to diffuse is a blend of Siberian fir and wild orange. Now the reason is wild orange is the oil of abundance. It is happiness in a bottle. I know a lot of you are in more winter months right now. So this can just be very bright. It just creates feelings of well-being. It's very fresh. Now here in the tropics, excuse me, I will not put it on my palm because even 24 hours later, even if I wash my hands, there's a good chance it will stay, on my palms. And then anything I touch, it can be photosensitive. That means that your skin becomes more sensitive to the sun, and there's a lot of sun here. So I am diffusing my wild orange, which I've been doing all morning, or taking it internally. And in the Emotions and Essential Oils book, it explains that abundance is actually just being a channel of abundance. So I set up my life so I can receive a lot of abundance and share a lot of abundance. So I know the more I share, the more I can receive. And that's for an abundance of health, wealth, or joy, or really anything else. And I just let myself be that channel. The second oil that I will put into my palms, because it won't make you photosensitive, only citrus oils make you photosensitive. Turn off that phone, is Siberian fir. Now Siberian fir is so fresh. It will open up, right away I smell it, it feels so good. It will open up your airways. It can be really good diluted if you are, if there's any sort of bronchial cold or sinus or nasal passages that are blocked. Emotionally, it is an oil of generational healing. All the firs, like Douglas fir, white fir, Siberian fir, have to do with your past. And so I put a drop and I take 3 deep inhales. It's so wintry and so fresh, and it just enlivens my brain. It just makes me feel awake, makes me feel so good. Believe it or not, I actually miss that cool, fresh winter air. I know maybe some of you in North America are like, oh, no sympathy for you, shut your face. But I really do here. There's a certain clarity that comes with that climate. So I love and I'm very grateful for this warm climate. So I'll just breathe through that. I'll rub it on my pulse points. It's not photosensitive, so I can't put it on my skin. And it will heal any generational ideas. So, I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I certainly have received more messages like, oh yeah, you'll grow out of this yoga thing, or just all sorts of messaging about, I'm not allowed to focus my time on myself and my passions. I need to always be taking care of others. And the way I set up my life now is I really prioritize my own self, my own joy. And I know through that, I can inspire, and through systems, I can really offer value to people. But it had to be a real mental shift and perspective shift. That was not what I was taught. And the women in my family did not teach me that. So it's something I had to go and seek out with coaches or with other doTERRA leaders. So this is how Siberian fir really helps me to be a woman that is cutting the cord of the past, of past generations, and really forging ahead. And, there's a lot of machetes here in El Salvador, so I picture myself with this big machete cutting my new path. And it requires bravery and courage to do that. So that's the second thing that I do is I take my essential oils. I am intermittent fasting, so I don't take my supplements until when I break my fast, which will be closer to the afternoons, around 1 or 2 o'clock. That's also part of my essential daily rituals. And then many, many oils throughout the day, which I will share mostly on my Insta stories. So the main the main tool, as you know, I'm working with Deb Erickson every Monday, and she inspires me so much. So this was some of the content she shared, and one of the exercises that she shared, which is we have approximately 85,000 thoughts every single day. 85,000 thoughts. And 80% of those are the same thought repeating over and over. Okay. 90% of those 85,000 thoughts are negative and fear-based. Just let that sink in for a second. They are negative and fear-based. So for me, that looks a lot like I'm not good enough. Most of what I do isn't as good as so-and-so. A lot of comparison thinking, I would say, is categorized under fear-based thinking. I think there's so much comparison right now. I notice it will just be under a lot of scarcity around time. I don't have time. A lot of guilt. I'm not being a good enough friend, wife, daughter, sister. That's really like, if you're to listen to the greatest hits of Jennifer Krupass's brain, those are a lot of the thoughts that if I don't train them, that's what will be the dominant playlist. I don't know what yours is. It's probably some variation because we're very, very similar as humans. Now, in general, this is what Deb says, women will have more of those thoughts, and I'm LGBTQ friendly, so people who identify as women and non-binary people, however you take this. I will say, in my personal experience, I find, spending a lot of time with my partner, Chris, that he definitely, I noticed just this almost reckless self-confidence and ability to bust through fear. Now, whether that's learned, whether that's because it's him and he's Italian, just in terms of how he, how we surf, I'm very timid and he's very willing to, and he puts himself in danger, and certainly how we approach business. He's very trusting, like, yeah, this is going to happen, and it often does. Or, yeah, I can do this, and I can work with the government of El Salvador to create this coffee export business. Like, he'll just do things that I don't even think of. And maybe it's how we evolved, maybe it's conditioning, who knows, but I certainly, when Deb says that women will be a bit more fearful and a bit more self-deprecating in their thought patterns, I notice that for myself. It might not be for everybody. So the training is really important. And, those thoughts can be harmless. However, thoughts lead to emotions, and emotions lead to action. So one of the main tools that I use, or one of the main practices I do, is watching that thought and then cutting the cord before it becomes an emotion or an action. So, so that's the first part. The second part is that as I stretch past my comfort zone, okay, the thoughts will be more negative and more fearful in nature. So the work to shift them is more important. So for instance, I could, be here and just sort of like collect my doTERRA checks and just write to the people I have good relationships with. And like, I wouldn't be too afraid or nervous to do that. However, if I come here and I try to set up new systems and I create new training programs and I create posters and go out into the yoga studios here and meet new people and share, my passions and set up workshops and ask my network to host classes for me, that's going to trigger way more thoughts and insecurity, and I'm way more susceptible to just avoid that and do the easy actions and tell myself that I'm doing the real work. So what do we do? This is the tool that I'm going to give you. The first thing is to never, ever, ever, ever say the words, I am afraid, because that creates a story in your head that you're very much owning fear. That's why when we do affirmations, we want to say, I am powerful, or I am resilient, I am creative, I am brilliant, I am beautiful, because that really anchors in, that's like part of my intrinsic identity. But if we say I am afraid, ooh, it's just like, ooh, it's too close. So, you know, we don't want to push fear away, because some fear is very necessary, especially when I'm surfing and there's a big wave that's way out of my reach and I become afraid, and that fear will make me swim away. Sometimes that's very important, because then I won't have it crash down and I can get like the board of my face. So we need fear, but it's more useful to say something like fear is present. Fear is present, because then it's like, oh, it's just present. And it can come and it can go, and I can choose to listen to it or not. So that's one thing. So just notice your words. Say, okay, fear is present. It's probably present because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. Now, is this a positive step? And here's the thing. I mean, Liz Gilbert says the same thing about creativity. The stakes are so low, friends, when you are stepping out of your comfort zone for your business. I mean, they're so low. What are the stakes? I mean, okay, yes, if you're investing in training or something, I understand there can be financial implications. I'm talking about if you're asking someone to host a class, if you are making an event on Facebook, doing all these things that we don't do because we're afraid. The stakes are so low. What happens? Nobody comes. That's it. You didn't die. You ask someone if they want oils and they say no. That just happened to me. Literally nothing has changed in my life. Nothing bad happens, right? I mean, the stakes are so low. That's where we should be, like, just let the fear be present and let it go away. So the practice is to visualize, first of all, to feel into your body. So let's just do this for a moment right now. You can feel into your body. Just take a few deep breaths. Even if you're driving, keep your eyes open, but you might develop an awareness in your body where you feel your fear, where fear is present. See, it's such a language thing that I'm also working on. And I feel it now through my sort of my right side down to my knee, up through my belly button, psoas. And almost imagine if you could take that fear out, and that fear, can visualize it as a little baby. And that little baby is crying, and that little baby needs to be comforted. So even just a few moments, even just saying the words of, you are safe, I got you, you are worthy, you are allowed to expand, you are learning and growing, you're exactly where you need to be. Just calm it down. Everything's okay. Just calm down that crying baby. Now I'm going to make a full meditation of this that you can download and listen to. Just for now, just see how that language, and if that calms your nervous system. Even from just saying that, I notice my whole energy just gets a little bit more calm. And then return to that revenue generating activity that you know you need to do, that you're not doing, that you know you need to write to those 5 people, or you know that you need to film a live video, or you know whatever it is. Just see if it's just a little bit more easy now that you've calmed that fear inside of yourself. Okay. So I hope that was really useful. And know that, when we do these, Deb calls them neuro tools, you can call them meditation exercises, visualizations, affirmations, tapping, whatever the thing is that you do, you need to do it consistently for 2 reasons. One is that every single day you need to take action on your business. Every single day. And look, this can be if you are trying to develop healthier habits with your nutrition, with your movement, if you want to have a more conscious relationship, it's every single day we need to show up in a more clear way and do those things. But let's make it business, because that's my main focus. So that's the first reason, because you need to take action every single day. So do the practice that will be able to get you into a state of taking action, okay? Look, some of you were born ready. Some of you were just born, like, you didn't have much trauma in your youth. You had, like, super business savvy parents, and you're like, why are people afraid? Like, I know people like that, and they actually can't understand because they don't need to work through the same blocks. So maybe you're that person. great, and you don't need these neuro tools and you can just get right into action. But if you're someone that had some trauma, some fear, some information in your youth that led you to your brain to believe that you were not worthy, you were not safe, you're very anxious, then yeah, you're going to probably need to do these tools every single day to get into action. So it's for the immediate action, but also it's for transforming that core belief about what was possible. And just to, share for myself, I talk a lot about my relationship with Chris, with my partner, because to me, it's really a miracle. Because it was very, very, very difficult for me to open to a conscious, committed relationship. Probably because I adored my father and he died when I was 17, and my brain created, an idea that don't get too close to people because they'll likely die at some point, and they will, and it will be devastating. So I would keep myself safe by dating unavailable men or wanting to do open relationships, which is fine if that's your thing, but it's just not really truly what I wanted. And just always choosing men that would sort of be at bay. And it was very, very, very difficult for me to feel safe enough to open to somebody that would be, exciting and co-creative and attractive and like all those fun aspects that I wanted, and want to be with me and build a life with me. So I know that it is the culmination. Now when I look at my relationship, and it's so easeful and so much fun and yet so safe and so steady, and we just keep together, we're just so powerful, and we just keep creating more and more amazing things. I know that is the culmination of doing these brain training tools for years and years, becoming more conscious in therapy, in coaching. The oils are such a huge part because they can shift an internal state, being connected to a community of growth-oriented women, which is why my doTERRA team. I just love them so much, why I love cross-line leaders. I'm so grateful for this in my life. And I had been with doTERRA for a good year and a half. Is that right? Yeah, before I met Chris. And I'm certain with every cell in my body that part of the reason why I was able to create a relationship like that was the oils, was all the personal growth that we get when we are creating our doTERRA businesses. So the point I'm making is that the practices that we do, they shift us in these little immediate decisions, but also in the core of who we are. And now I feel much more safe. Of course, thoughts come up like, oh no, I'm afraid every time he goes surfing or driving that he's going to die, for sure. And I can write very quickly, maybe smell an oil right away, shift the dialogue to, well, this is living a wholehearted life, and better to have loved and lost. And I also live my life in a way where I'm financially independent. I make sure I have an awareness of how every aspect of life works, including the car and the kitchen and my finances. And I have I have a friend group, so I keep my life is vibrant, so that if he is to die, I have a full life. And yet that does not stop me from also opening into the love and the intimacy and the connections and making many, many, many memories with him. Because again, if he did die, statistically they show that you don't feel any less pain if you resisted opening to somebody. It's actually the contrary. You would have wished that you would, I'll say I would have wished that I would have created those memories and experienced that profound love. So it's making me a little bit emotional, but it's really profound. And I really want this for everyone to experience this. And I just know with every cell in my body that these oils, and doTERRA is one of the most effective ways that I can share this. So thank you so much for joining. I will be here Mondays. A new YouTube video will be uploaded for you. On Tuesday, April 9th, I will do a longer, more in-depth, specific mindset training where you will receive tools and meditations and downloads and an ebook to really anchor in this work. And that will be paid. It's going to be very accessible, like $15 US. Mostly because that will make you value it more and actually show up for yourself more. And energetically will make you show up in a bigger way, knowing that it's a paid option for you. So I will make sure everything's posted below this video so you have all the information you need. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. And say, this is my mantra, let's say together, I expand in health and wealth and joy every day and teach others to do the same. Thanks to Gay Hendricks. Say it again, I expand in health and wealth and joy and teach others to do the same.